Welcome to the Drink a Little podcast where we talk about exploring the world of wine spirits while not letting it take over your life. My name is Kelly Doherty. I'm a joyful child of God and a certified life coach. I'm also a wine educator and wine and spirits brand designer. I'll show you how you can navigate your relationship with alcohol and how that mindset spills over into the rest of your life. We'll learn about the world of wine and spirits together, all while bolstering your confidence that you can have boundaries around alcohol and live your most amazing life. Welcome to episode number 22. Willpower is BS. And how this works is we will do a little wine tasting at the top of the hour and see how that leads us into a conversation about why willpower is BS and what to do about it. So today we are tasting the 2021 Rodney Strong Merlot from Sonoma County. And it's at this time of year when I seem to hear people talking a lot about willpower and they're trying to be good or they're trying to stop drinking or they're trying to not eat sugar. And for me to think that willpower is the way to do that, it turns out it's the exact opposite of what you would want to be doing. And so we will talk about that. But first, the wine. So I want to taste this Rodney Strong, and it's a family owned Sonoma grown wine. And this Merlot really does have a strong sense of itself. So let's just give it a swirl and give it a little taste. I don't know that I've said this before, but when you're swirling or when you're drinking your wine, you want to grasp it from the stem and not from the bowl because you really want to have your hands as far away from your nose as possible. You might have been to the gas station earlier in the day, you might have lotion on your hands. And so that's why we hold not the bowl of the glass, but the actual stem. And when you're holding the bowl, you're actually warming up the wine as well. So this is just good practice to make sure the aromas you are getting are coming from the wine. And so we'll give this little sip. You do get it's a lot of black plum, fig, and blackberry. So let's taste this. Truly in line with the nose. That fig really comes through. It's gorgeous. Maybe a little bit of raspberry on there, and some toasted oak, a little bit of spice, maybe allspice and clove character to it. I think this would be a great wine during the holidays. Could kind of bridge a gap, working with um a big roast, a beef ragu, a lamb, something with pork for sure. This is just gorgeous. It's also got some deep black cherry in it. So perfect for the holidays. And it is 14.5% alcohol. So keep that in mind that it is strong in and of itself, even though the name is just a name, Rodney Strong. And so I wanted to know who this person was. And so Rod Strong was a dancer, American dancer, and he came to Sonoma County over 60 years ago, just following his creative passion, and really was one of the early wineries, the 13th bonded winery in Sonoma County. We were talking about like the late 1950s. So he truly has created a wine that dances on your palate. And they don't say that. I'm saying that this is a beautiful, easy to drink wine that is not overly strong, surprisingly. So, and I picked this wine, this we named Strong, because sometimes we feel like getting through the holidays, we have to be so strong and we have to have so much willpower to not overdrink and to not overeat. And strength is not really what we need to white knuckle it even more through the holidays and to not um, really think about willpower and discipline. They just don't work. And those two words, willpower and discipline, are used interchangeably. And they're a little bit different. So I wanted to talk about that because willpower is the thing in the moment where you've got to resist that instant gratification. So, in vineyard terms, willpower is like the weather. It might change every day how much willpower that might take. And then discipline is more like the climate. That is the lifestyle or the perceived lifestyle that you have in order to not overindulge. It's really discipline is consistent habits over a long period of time. And people will say, well, you just have so much discipline and I can't have that. But it's really the overarching throughout the year versus the weather. So willpower is the weather and discipline is the climate. And it's an important distinction because people use that word discipline and it leads to judgment of character. So if you think that I have more discipline than you have, then you're throwing yourself under a bus and saying you're just undisciplined and there's no hope. Um, you're making it more out of proportion than it is. And that over drinking one evening or overeating one batch of fudge during the holidays, well, talking about myself here, it's something about your character. And it's not something about making one little decision. So this really isn't about your character. And what you want to do is create a lifestyle that you want and move towards that one step at a time. Define it and move towards it. And that may look different every day. It's not a smooth, like upward trajectory, one direction, but kind of a back and forth experimenting, but going in a planned direction. So one of the problems with willpower is that it is actually limited. And maybe you've been in this situation where someone offers you a drink and you say, no, thank you. And then you're at a party and someone else offers you a drink and you say, no, thank you. And then the next person that says something, you're like, you're all in. You've worn down. I'm going to have this drink. So it is actually limited. And in addition to it being limited, it's really based on your strength at the time. So what I mean by that is we have more ability to put the willpower into action when we've slept well, when we didn't just have a fight with our partner, when all the other things are lining up and we feel good. We are at our best. And we all know that that's not realistic to be at our best and strongest at all points in time. So we can't really rely reliably on the willpower because its outcome is unreliable as we're just all human and we're going through different cycles of how we feel and how much resistance we can take. And so when you use this willpower and you're not at your best and you give in to the temptation, what we typically do is beat ourselves up later, making ourselves wrong. And and that's not something that's sustainable or something you can build on. And we've talked about this before that you can't make significant lasting changes from a place of beating yourself up about it. So we have to make change from a place of feeling good about ourselves. And so what do we do? How do we do that? And so I like to think instead of being strong and having the willpower, I like to think of myself as building strong habits. I'm always in the process of building strong habits because I want to tweak a little bit here and there. I want to grow into something new and experiment and have like curiosity around it. It doesn't have to be perfect. If I said I was going to do something and something else happened, then I just get curious, like, why did that happen? And then that curiosity lets me not judge myself in that moment. So it's never really a full destination. And that's okay. But there's no true failure in it. There's a little back and forth along the way, but no reason to beat yourself up about it. We're on a path and we're building strong habits. So the longer I'm practicing any habit, the more I really don't need to think about it in order to do the habit. So over drinking is actually a habit. If you're over drinking, you probably not thinking about how to do that really well. So you've been doing it for a long time and now it just comes naturally, but you didn't start out that way. So there's some unwinding to do there, but You have to notice that it is a habit first and that it was created. And therefore, it's possible that it can be uncreated, shifted, modified, deleted altogether, whatever you actually want. And that's going to be difficult at first, just acknowledging this might be really difficult at first. And it will get easier as you think about building strong habits over time. And even just changing your mindset over a little bit of time really makes a big difference. So, we're talking about Rodney Strong this week and strength, but what about thinking instead of having to be strong, almost like you're working again? That's almost like you're working against something. But what if you told yourself how you're already strong? Like, where in your life are you the strong one? And are you celebrating and appreciating that part of you? Are you looking at that part of you and asking, what did it take to get here? And acknowledging that took some time, that took some effort and some forethought. What habits did I build around this area of my life to become strong in this area? And then you can borrow from yourself the things that have already worked for you, your personality, and your lifestyle. Because what a lot of what we do in coaching is help people find their individualized and personalized ways of growing and shifting their mindset and working with what you already have means that we don't start from scratch. Something that might work for me during the holidays may not work for your personality style during the holidays. So look to where you are already an amazing pillar of strength and where you can borrow that and apply it to any area of your life that you want to. You've got this. That is what I have for you this week. Stay strong and don't beat yourself up. No willpower needed. Next week, we are going to explore Triana, a red blend from Paso Robles. I just want to talk about a tree before we get close to Christmas on this end. And if you are working on how to be strong and you feel like it's just not working, I do teach to a deeper level. I have one-on-one coaching program that is tailored to your personalized needs, where we cover how to stop over drinking sustainably, how to love yourself for all the right reasons, and emotional well-being. Go to kellydoherty.com/cheers to learn more.